We're here at Bull Expo 2012 in Reno, and we have a couple great guests, Bill, and we have the runner-up from the big tournament last night. Let's talk a little bit about it.
Yes, we can. The Women's U.S. Open on Virginia Street in Reno. So we have Missy Parkin, the current Queen's champion. So it's not that she's unfamiliar to titles. And brutal, as they called it, Survivor Reno. So what happened? And how can we forget Eric Thomas? Not quite familiar. Eric, your position with 900 is?
Brand manager of 900 Global AMF and 3G shoes.
Some of the great products out there. Yeah. So we'll start with Missy. Ladies first, of course.
Sure.
So tell people what it was like. I mean, you don't get to shoot plastic bowling balls very much.
Yeah, I'll say besides the conditions, actually it was really fun to compete outside. That was a very cool environment. You know, we had people even up in the parking structure, huge crowd. I mean, that's always fun to compete in front of a lot of people like that. And, you know, the conditions, they were what they were. And we all had to bowl on the same thing. And yes, it got pretty brutal, but that's all right.
How was the transition from late in the day, and then with the lights, did you notice many problems with shadows? Was there any problem actually seeing any part of the lane that you were looking at?
Thankfully, I think that when I bowled, I didn't have any problems with shadows, but during parts of the match, it did look that way. And I was kind of concerned. I don't see very well at night, personally, but I had no problems. By the time it got to my matches, there was enough lights and stuff, so it was fine. I think the only major factor was the wind, which everybody knows about. Thankfully, it didn't blow in my face, so it was all okay.
Yeah, we noticed you tied your hair back for one match and then let it go free for the finals. And that's why we thought Kelly had the edge, because hers was tied back. It wasn't blowing in her face. I mean, Linda Barnes, it was like every frame.
I know, I felt so bad for Linda, poor Linda. Her hair looked cute, though.
You all did, but that's another story for something else. The five of you ladies were in agony out there, but there was one person I noticed was even in more agony. Your husband. I mean, he was living and dying, mostly dying, with every shot.
My husband is very animated, that is for sure, and I think that's why he ends up on television a lot.
No hoodie this time.
The camera seems to follow him. But yeah, he's a sports-minded person, so he's definitely in it every shot with me, and he's my biggest supporter. So I really thank him for that.
Okay, so now let's kind of segue in. What's your favorite 900 Global or AMF bowling balls that are in the line now?
Currently, my favorites are the new Jewel. It is very, very cute. It's pink and purple, and it is more for the women, but it also men can use it as well. But it's a very cute ball. And I also like the new Look. It's called the Look. That is an orange and blue ball. It goes pretty long and then snaps pretty hard on the back end. And probably my favorite out of the new line is the Sure Thing. That's a blue and white ball. It's very controllable. It has a nice arc motion to it, and that's actually the ball that I used a lot on the upcoming summer series that I did with 900 Global.
Now, during the week, what equipment were you using? Any specific ball?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, during the week, I used a variety of things. They were a little different day to day. I used a solid nuts. I used a Black Eagle. I used an AMF Black Mamba. I also used the Sure Thing. I believe that's everything. So I used a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and that's probably, it's great when you have a whole arsenal you can go to.
Absolutely, yeah. With the 900 Global and AMF brands, I definitely have a wide variety of products to choose from, which allowed me to bowl as well as I did this week.
A lot of people don't realize Norm Duke, 16-pound, yourself. If you have someone ask you, I bet you if you polled everybody there watching in Reno, what weight ball, I'll guarantee you none of them would have said 16.
No, they probably would have said 14. But yes, I do throw 16 pounds. I have been throwing that same weight ever since I was 15 years old. And I was even smaller back then. But it's not about strength. It's more about having your equipment drilled correctly and letting the weight of the ball swing your arm freely.
Can you ever remember back-to-back 810s?
No. No.
And then realized that wasn't the worst shot on the show?
Yeah, I mean, last night it was what it was. All you can do is throw the ball well. You can't determine what happens with the pins. I mean, I had an unfortunate break, a few years ago at the Queens, threw a perfect shot and left a pocket 7-10.
Yeah.
I mean, last night, that's about as perfect as I could throw it for 2 8-10s, so...
You got a wiggle on the first one, but the second one's just stone 8-10.
I know.
Let's talk a little bit about being brand manager.
Sure.
What is your job? What do you actually have to do?
Well, basically, we take it from cradle to the grave for the product launches. We we consult with our staff players, our pro shops around the country, and basically develop the core, the cover stock, the name, the color, the logo paint, everything from start to finish, and then market the product and get it out to our pro shops, and then eventually into the consumer's hands.
And you got a great staff.
We do. I tell you, we have one of the best staffs as far as people-wise. On and off the lanes, Missy is a great representative. Robert Smith, I think everyone in the world would admit that Robert is one of the greatest guys that you can meet. He's a genuine guy. He's a lot of fun to hang out with.
And we just had him on earlier.
Oh, okay, great. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
I like the yellow. I like this. I like any of them. They all look nice, all the new ones.
Missy and Robert are great. Brian Voss, another great guy on and off the lanes, and then Mike Halligan, another genuine guy. So we love our staff players because they represent us well, and they represent who we are as a company. We're more family oriented. We're really down to earth, and we just want to be a good community and have good people represent us out in the field. And Missy does a great job. I really enjoy working with her a lot.
And Missy, you just obviously came back from Chicago a few weeks ago from the shootout. We don't want scores, but anything unusual happened this year? Any bottle gates or anything?
No, nothing unusual. And I'm not going to give anything away, but I am going to say that we started out a lot better than last year. And that's all I'm going to say, and that it was a lot of fun, so please stay tuned and watch all the shows.
I was thinking that why you can't do a women's also, because you already have everything set up. You got the men's staff, and then have a bunch of ladies bowling too. There's not enough on the staff, but have little teams, because you already have everything there. You got the equipment, you got the lanes, you got the cameras, and do it right after the men's.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't be opposed to that at all.
No, none of the women. Linda thought it was a great idea.
Yeah, I mean,
even thought
absolutely.
if you don't have a big women's staff, of a lady, or as I put it, a flat belly and a senior.
Yeah. And
have a 3-person team that way. And get some of the seniors out. We've talked about seniors, and it's hard to imagine Amuleto Monticelli, Bob Learn, Brian Goebel, and being 50 seniors.
Yeah.
And then who's going to be coming out in the next few years like that?
It's the PBA tour from the 90s is going to start kicking up again here.
Deja vu.
Yeah.
Talk about deja vu.
Yeah, that's two of our.
I mean, my favorite ball of all time, other than an LT48, the Cobra. Actually, outside of Hammer, that was the first 2-piece ball.
Yes. Yep.
And then the bullwhip was iconic.
Both of these, AMF over the years, we've brought back a few balls. A couple years ago, we brought back the Nighthawk. We were real successful with that. I wanted to bring back 2 more, and these are probably 2 of the most popular balls that AMF has had. So we brought back the Cobra. We made some changes, but we kept some things too. It kept the same logo, the same engraving scheme that we had back in the early 90s. We also kept the light bulb core, but the big change is we did not go with urethane this time. We went with a reactive resin shell. The reason for that, a lot of bowlers want to throw urethane until they throw it and they realize that it hooks at their toes, and I don't want to throw urethane. So we wanted to give them that type of feel, but with the reactive shell and the low flaring core, we can get the ball through the heads and it'll hook a little bit on the back end, but it's a very tame piece, very smooth, very predictable, everything that they remember about the original Cobra.
Now the Extreme, wasn't that yours?
Yes.
That was, I thought, one of the best balls for the money. $99 with that weight block.
Yeah.
I used that so long until eventually it cracked. And, naturally, to try to find another one.
Yeah.
But that was one of the best balls, and I know you could had tons of sales. Shops were selling those like mad.
Yeah. I mean, back then it's a lot different game these days with all the balls that come out. It's hard to get something that you could sell tens of thousands of unless you got something really special. But bringing back the Cobra, the bullwhip, A lot of guys will like to see that one back. That's the exact opposite of what the Cobra is. It's going to be extreme skid with extreme snap, a lot of down lane, back end motion on the bullwhip.
Gee, isn't that a novel concept? I want a ball that goes longer and hooks harder.
Right.
Yeah, no one's ever come up with a ball like that.
That's what I always ask people. Do you want to score better or you want to have fun throwing your product? And a lot of times they want to have fun and see the ball hook on the back end even though they're not scoring very well. So.
Well, we appreciate you both coming on.
Yep.
Do you have a website?
Yes, I do. MissyParkin.com.
I know I have you on my website, so I just want to put it out there so people can say, and what about the #1 bowling balls website?
You can check us out at 900global.com. You can follow us on Twitter at 900global, and then also like us on Facebook so you can win some free products that we give away and communicate with us. Let us know how you like our products and what we can do to service you better.
And Missy, we're going to have to get you back on our radio show again and talk a little bit because we haven't been on in a while.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime.
Well, when else would be the next U.S. Open? Because now they're going to have the men's and the ladies together next year. And kind of the question, are you both bowling on the same pattern? And was last night maybe a prelude to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're both going to be bowling on the same pattern. I know when the men and women bowled together previously, I believe they did cross together. That was kind of before my time, bowling out on tour. But I believe that we probably are going to be bowling on the same conditions. I hope we cross together. I'm fine with that. I bowled against some men and bowled with them quite a bit, so that'd be fine with me.
Yeah, she has quite a decision to make up whether she's going to bowl in the men's tournament or the women's. She's the first woman ever to cash in the top 20 this year at the men's U.S. Open. So
fantastic. And congratulations on the marriage.
Thank you.
We haven't had a chance to tell you that, and thanks for coming on.
To him.
Well, that's true. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you.